Welcome back to another edition of the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show with head coach Drew Akins. I'm Andy Morse, excited to be here. And as always, we're presented by Wright Brothers Construction. Coach Akins coming off of a bye week. Nice week to be able to kind of relax, recuperate, get guys healthy is the thing that I look at the most.
Yeah, it was a really good week. You know, it was time. I talked to our guys. You know, we're in a unique situation at Walker Valley and Bradley County Schools where we have our players in an athletic block. So we've been going since January together. And you know, you get the 2 weeks for dead week, but ultimately it's a grind. And, you know, when you're together as much as we've been together, and our kids do a great job. They love being around each other. But it was time for a little break, and our guys needed that. You talk about getting healthy. You know, we were struggling with offensive starters being out. You know, we had several offensive starters coming back this week, and we feel full go. You know, got Jarnigan back, got Bitzel back. We got Roman full speed. We got Luke full speed. So it definitely hit at a good time, and it was definitely good to be on the bye week after coming back and winning. That helped the mood for sure. But we went Monday. Kind of reviewed East Hamilton and previewed Lenoir City, and then we gave the rest of the week off. You know, typically we go Monday and Tuesday, but we felt like an extra day of rest was more important than an extra day of review. So our preview. So really was glad to give our guys that time. Was glad to get that time for our coaching staff. You know, and spend some time away from the hustle and bustle of it. But yesterday it was really nice to be back in the. It was kind of a first day excitement coming back together. So really hoping that the bye week was truly a midpoint for us. And we got to continue to get better, but ultimately the goal is for us to be halfway through the season. And if that's the case, we got a lot of good times ahead of us.
And, of course, as you mentioned, it is Lenoir City week, another region opponent on the road this time. It is week 9. Hard to believe we're already at week 9 of the season,
crazy.
First of all. But obviously, this Lenoir City team, a very different team than what we saw last year, but doesn't mean we can't go take out some frustration from last year on Lenoir City.
Yeah, we've talked to our guys about that. Honestly, you know, we talked to our guys, and it's a different team. We got different players. Obviously, we've had an influx of transfers that didn't have any part in that. We have new starters that had very little impact on last year's game. But we did talk about how, you know, we care about one another, and we feel like that there was a wrong that needs to be right. So we're going to go up there and with that mindset. You know, our season ended prematurely last year. We feel like it was the first season really we feel like that we didn't reach our full potential. And losing that game is a reason for that. So we're going to go up there with a mindset of righting a wrong, but also continue to get better and trying to peak at the right time. I think we're in a situation where, you know, we haven't played our best football. And we're trying to make sure that as we enter the playoffs that we're peaking. That was one thing that 23 squad that went to the semifinals, they peaked at the right time. And I've told our guys, you know, last year we peaked. Honestly, if you go back and watch the season, we kind of peaked at East Hamilton. We played our best game against East Hamilton and then never really got better. So, you know, this year we didn't play our best game against East Hamilton. And we still were able to win it, which is, you know, really exciting. But ultimately, we want to continue to get better until we get to the playoffs. And then once you hit the playoffs, you're pretty much the best version of yourself, and you just got to go each week and maintain that. So that has been the message to our team, that every single day over the next 3 weeks that we've got to work towards filling our tank up. You know, we have this tank of potential, and we feel like we're 50 to 60% full on that tank. So the next 3 weeks, our goal is to fill that tank as high as we can fill it up.
And, Coach, obviously, as we've talked about it, going back to East Ham, got to recap that game. We'll dive back into Lenoir City this Friday's game here in just a moment. And obviously, after our favorite part of the show, the film breakdown, that's coming up as well. But going back to East Hamilton, there were so many crucial moments in that game. Usually you can look at a game and say, well, that is when the game changed. For you, what moment do you look at as a head coach and say, that's when I could tell we were getting back into the game?
Oh, man, getting back in the game is tough because I thought we had a lot of momentum there, but you said it. The momentum swings back and forth throughout the game. Them going up 20-7, in the first quarter, and them having the ball. And there was a moment in the first quarter that I said, "Hey, guys, they score here, it's going to get hairy." And luckily we were able to get a stop. We got the interception, by Michael Wood, who tied the interception record for the school in their career. That's on our film study. So excited to celebrate Mike. But I think there was moments throughout the game where I felt like we could have taken control, and we didn't. After the safety, I thought that was a great opportunity for us to take control of the game, and we gave the ball away, and then we got a stop. Tyler Goldman got an interception, and then we threw an interception right back. So there was moments throughout the game that it felt like it could swing towards us. I think ultimately when I felt like that we had a real shot to win it, going in the fourth quarter, I told our defensive guys, I told Caleb Jackson and Aiden Burns, I said, "Hey, we're going to score here. And when we score, y'all get a stop, we're going to win the game." We scored the first play of the fourth quarter on a power by Kason Cunningham, and then they drove the ball all the way down, but our defense ultimately got a stop on 4th and 1. Braylon Beard made a great play on 4th and 1. And at that moment, I felt like, okay, we got a real shot to go win this game. So I think the 4th and 1 was the critical play of the game. I do think it was the right call by East Hamilton. I think that's what I would have done in that situation. I would have gone for it because if you get that 4th and 1, the ball game's pretty much over. Even if you don't end up scoring, there's not enough time. So I think it was the right call by them. Our guys just made a play. So I was really excited about that. That was kind of the moment that I said, "Hey, we're going to go win this." And our guys did. Made some plays down the stretch. We won the fourth quarter 18-0. And honestly, I look back over the 7 years here, and we've not had a lot of comeback victories. We've had a lot of games where we get down and we lose. We've had a lot of games where we come out with our hair on fire and win. But we haven't had a lot of those, we're behind by double digits and we come back and win the game. So it was a really special night, really special game, and it's something I'll remember for a long time.
Coach, I'm glad you mentioned you really started things with the defense, because one point in the game that really made me become in-game a believer, like, hey, we can still make something happen here, was that safety. The front line of your defense. I on air over on Cleveland's Oldies 99.1, Jim Gum and I were on the call. That's one thing we talked about was how about the guts of that front line for pressuring the quarterback and forcing that safety.
And consistently, throughout the night, that safety was a big play. That was a moment I thought, hey, we can take control here. And obviously we weren't able to, but defensively, I thought our front played really well throughout the night. That's a really talented team, and run game up the middle was just not there. And you talk about pressuring the quarterback. We got a lot of hits on the quarterback. The quarterback made a lot of plays. I thought that kid had a lot of guts to him, making play, keep getting up. But we hit him a lot. And those hits over a 30, 40-minute game gets hard to deal with. And you saw that towards the end of the game that we kind of took over that last drive where we were able to get to him several times and able to make some sacks. And I thought our front played really well throughout the night. And when you pressure the quarterback like that, as much as we pressured him, typically good things happen. And we were able to get some big-time stops throughout the night because of it.
So now going over to the offensive side of the ball just for a little bit here, you mentioned Kason Cunningham, that touchdown that he had out of the power set. Just tremendous job all night, 152 yards on the ground for Kason Cunningham. He continues to be consistent. That's one thing that we've seen week after week after week, that now it's not just, the little guy's pretty tough. Yeah. He's consistent at the running back position when it comes to getting yards when needed. If he needs to get 5, he's going to get 6. Yeah. He's really became such an exciting player to watch as a part of this explosive offense that you have. But some other guys that had big nights, Sawyer Boyd, 118 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. And, of course, Roman Yulo had 40 all-purpose yards and a rushing touchdown. And it still feels like, and you mentioned Roman being able to rest up over the bye week is such a big deal, because even with a good game from Roman, you didn't quite feel like he was 100%, but he still was able to show out.
Yeah, him and Luke both were probably 80% going in that game. And throughout the game, they probably loosened up a little bit, but it didn't get much better than 80% for either of them. So giving them, winning that game with them not full speed and then giving them a week to go get full speed is really exciting. But Cason's been outstanding for us this year. We got to fix turning the ball over. That's some critical things that we've got to get cured. He knows it. It's not something that he's unaware of. We've just got to do a better job as coaches teaching him, getting him the technique. On the second fumble, it was just something that we teach but haven't done enough. We haven't drilled enough to get him to do that second nature of really protecting the ball when it's a same side hit. We teach same side hits techniques, and we just didn't do the technique that we teach, which means that we're not drilling enough. So we've got to do a better job of making sure that nature, second nature, is reinforced, that it just happens on its own, muscle memory. But he played a great game, had some major rushing yards for us there throughout the second half, averaging a little over 100 yards a game. And we've got to make sure that we continue that. When we're as efficient running the football as we are with him this year, then we're really tough offensively to stop, because you have these three receivers that are really dynamic. When you add an efficient run game to it where you have to add hats to the box, it makes it really difficult to know which one to go stop.
Very well balanced offense.
It's been really fun to be a part of, honestly, and watching him grow. Sawyer obviously had a great game. He had 3 touchdowns, the kickoff return, and the 2 catches, the 2 receiving touchdowns. The one right out of halftime was an explosive play. The one, his second long catch, it really set us up to make a drive. His best play on the night, I think, was a 7-yard catch that got us from what would have been probably a 3rd and 9 and got us down to a 3rd and 2. We're able to run Roman at that point. We know we can run Roman twice at a 3rd and 2, where if it's 3rd and 9, it gets a little dicey about what play calls we're able to run. So he's been dynamic throughout the year. I thought our offensive line played really well. Another night where they gave up no sacks. They gave up no pressures. The one pressure we had was on the quarterback. He cost himself a pressure. So they gave up no pressures and no sacks. We had 80% run efficiency. So really excited about the way we're playing up front. And again, we're getting healthy with Jarnigan back, with Bitzel back. Lane Ferris has now played significant reps. Braden Blair's back off of labrum. Burks has played really well when he's gotten his opportunity. So we feel really comfortable right now with 8 offensive linemen going in. I think Isaiah Couch is right on the line of being able to play as well.
It's great news.
So, yeah, we got 8, 9 kids that are able to play up front on the offensive line. So, been really, really fun year. We've got to continue to make progress. We can't make the mistakes we're making with the turnovers. That's the one critical thing that we've got to do better as an offense, is make sure that we're not turning the football over. Our guys know it. We've got to do a better job as coaches making sure that we don't make those critical errors.
And, Coach, before we go to break, we've talked offense, we've talked defense. The third realm of the game, special teams, can't do anything. Obviously, we mentioned Sawyer Boyd's kick return. I honestly forgot about that one. He has so many good offensive plays that you focus on. But Chris Malik, 3 for 3 extra points and the game-winning 31-yard field goal. Such a big moment with no time on the clock.
Yeah, it was really cool. We talked about it even yesterday. We did not lead 1 second of that game. But when the clock hit 0, we were up by 3. So really cool moment for that kid. I told you on Friday after the game, we make that kick every day. Every day at practice, we make a 20 to 25-yard field goal kick. So, before he went out to that kick, I just say, hey, Chris, man, it's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. We've done this 100 times. Go make a 20-yard kick like we do every day in practice. But for a sophomore to go out there and do that in that moment, really cool moment for that kid. And I thought we played really well special teams throughout the night, though. We talked about the kickoff return. I thought our punt team was outstanding. We gave up 0 return yards on punt. A lot of that is because AB was able to just kind of walk and let our coverage team get down the field before kicking the ball because they didn't rush us. I thought our kickoff team did a great job, especially late. After we scored to tie the game, they got the returner down inside the 25. Just thought we played really well special teams. We made that a focus. We knew we lost some games last year because of special teams. So to be able to win games this year because of special teams has been really, really good to see because we worked really hard on that as a coaching staff. And our kids buy into it, and they understand it's a critical part of the game. So it was all around a really cool night. It's a night I won't forget for a long time, and it made the bye week a lot easier to deal with. I know that 2 years ago we lost this game
had to sit on that one.
and we had to sit on it.
Yeah.
So going to the beach on a win, it felt a lot better.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned an all-around team effort. That's what it takes to win those tight games, those close games. But shout out Walker Valley sophomore kicker Chris Malik, the ESPN Cleveland Express Screen Print and Embroidery Player of the Week because of that.
Yeah.
And he's been so consistent, so can't shout that sophomore out enough. I know he's kind of grinning ear to ear because all the attention he's getting, and rightfully so. But with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do the film breakdown from East Hamilton with Coach Drew Akins. Welcome back to the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show with the Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins. I'm Andy Morris, and once again, Jacob Mason not in attendance. With that, Coach, it's our favorite time of the show, the film study, and usually Jacob asks all the good defensive questions, and he's been a little tied up, so he's leaving everything to me. I'm going to let you lead us with our defensive stuff because as we mentioned in the first segment, so many big moments in that game at East Hamilton.
Yeah, from the jump, we're going to go through all three phases here, man. I think as you look at the film, you can't not mention this moment, from Sawyer. We worked a different return from them. They bloop kick it. Over the years, we've seen Brody Swafford make this return. We really believe in a bloop return straight at where they're blooping. So a lot of teams you'll see when a bloop kick happens, they'll try to get all the way across the field. We believe in hitting it right up the pipe. So you'll see when we get this bloop return here, we have a moment where as they kick it, let me speed this up a little.
Which I do want to say this. Right now, if you're listening on the radio, Coach Akins has a great drone shot of this. You can check out the video footage on YouTube, on the Walker Valley Athletics YouTube page, or on the WCLE page as well.
Absolutely. This is the only way to watch film, man. The drone shot is a special view. So what you'll see is, we're trying to get as many hats to the side of the field that they're kicking to. So when you stop the film here, you see that we have 10 of our 11 hats are on the side of the field that they're blooping to. So we're trying to make this return happen right where they're blooping. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in that area, and we have 10 guys in that area. And then the last guy, they always try to use the kicker as a safety. So the last guy is actually going to get the block on the safety to clear it out in the end. So you see the timing of that. You see Jones out there with the kicker, at least putting a presence with him, and a great job by Sawyer making that return straight. And just exactly like we drew it up, he's able to hit that crease right there. And not a lot of kids can hit that crease.
Can we be honest here? Sawyer's speed right here on this return kind of made that block for, was it Jones. Hicks? Mm-hmm. It made it difficult for him to get the angle because the kicker was having to change his angle up.
Yep. It's like I said, it's something we work on a lot, and our kids executed so well in that moment. Defensively, we talked about it in the first segment, but this is a great play by Michael Wood. He has worked so hard over his years. So for him to go and tie Braxton Smith for most interceptions in a career, they keep going at Mike, and Mike keeps on making plays. But for him to high point this ball here is a really great interception. It's another really good one. As always, from the drone shot, you get a great view. They went trips and tried to single Mike up, and you see them trying to hit that route that we try to hit a lot with that glance route. And Michael's able to high point that ball, intercept it, and really, again, it's another momentum moment for us to get that stop in that moment. I mean, you look at where we are in the game. We're down 20-7. It's the first quarter. If they score on this drive, which at this point they've scored pretty easily, if I'm just being real, for us to get that stop, it kind of let us take a breath defensively. They scored 20 in the first quarter and scored 17 the rest of the game. So really a great job by our defense settling in and going and making plays.
One thing with Michael Wood that I feel like everybody sees week after week, he continues to improve from a defensive back standpoint. He played the football. He didn't play the receiver there. He stayed over the top and played the football and put himself in great position.
Yeah, and he caught the football, which
that's
is
right.
for Mike, that's a big deal.
Money hands Mike.
Spend a lot of time making sure there's a reason why Mike plays defense.
That's right.
Exclusively. So he's done a great job of catching the football this year and making those plays. Early touchdown again, right after the interception. We put a drive together offensively, and this is a staple for us. Anytime we get empty, anytime we go empty and we get pressure, Chase has done such an outstanding job handling the pressure, but also finding the hot receiver. And when you find the hot receiver, when they are pressuring you, typically it turns into a big play. So really, really big-time play. This is an unblocked hat. So when you watch it from the drone, just talking through the protection of this is, if you've been around our program for any amount of time, you've heard me talk a lot about protection. It's something we do. It is a huge part. I think it's one of the things that I do best as a head coach is understand the protection, and we understand how to make sure the quarterback is protected. So we're sliding here 3 for 3. So our 3 gets their 3. We're locked on these 2, which means anybody else that blitzes we can't handle. So it's now the job of the quarterback, and in this case the receiver, to be ready to run a hot route. So if he blitzes, he's unblocked. We're running a hot route to replace him, get depth, find your hot receiver. And obviously Chase does a great job of that in this moment, able to take a hit off himself, get the ball to Sawyer. And when you get the ball to Sawyer with that much space, typically good things happen. So big-time touchdown there by Sawyer. This is the sack safety that we talked about earlier. And the big thing here that we didn't talk about is the amount of pressure that we're able to get and still keep him in the pocket. Because by rule, if he's outside the tackle box, he can throw it wherever he wants to throw it. So he by keeping him in the tackle box here, it becomes an intentional grounding where if he's able to escape the tackle pocket or the tackle box, then obviously it would just be a throwaway. So we keep him in the pocket the whole way through. We get a holding call on top of the intentional grounding. And again, that's just a big time play by our defense there. And when you make that kind of play in that moment, it really creates a lot of momentum for you. So again, from this angle, you can see our defense, like you said, put a ton of pressure on him. We're able to keep him in the pocket with Lane Ferris. He throws it away but doesn't get out of the tackle box. And you see a lot of coaches over here on their sideline making sure that they got that. So super proud of our defense there. That was a big-time play in the game.
And it wasn't even an exotic blitz or anything. Great coverage by your secondary. Know where to go with the football. Mm-hmm. But that front line just coming up and getting pressure.
Yeah.
Great play there.
Great pressure there. So I'm going to burn through these next 3. These are our 3 second-half touchdowns. Excuse me. At halftime, so we talk a lot about, hey, what do we want to go ahead and give in the first half, and what are some things that we want to hold on to, that we want to save for the second half? This is a play because the safety that we were able to save for the second half because we felt like we were still within striking distance. So we didn't want to show this and then them have time at halftime to go talk about how to cover this. So this is a second play out of halftime. We've ran that 100 times, it feels like, this season, where we flash motion across, and typically this flash motion, we run a flat, we run a slant, and we read it, and we throw to one of these 2 guys, right? We've ran that play a bunch, especially since McMinn. Really, the fourth quarter Bradley is where we kind of started getting into this, and we've kind of built on it. So we've been saving this, just hoping we would find a moment. And we run our glance. They run into us. I'm glad that this is not an offensive pass interference because I really feel like that they ran into us here. Roman almost stops to make sure it doesn't happen. But Sawyer does a great job with his timing. It's an outstanding throw. It's a wide open throw. You know, we talk about a wide open throw. Don't overthrow a wide open player. And then Sawyer's able to catch the ball and get in the end zone. So that's a play that we actually saved for the second half that we went to really early in the second half. Once we get in the fourth quarter, you know, we talked about this in the pregame, but from this angle is where I want you to see. This is a run, you know, again, we run that same flash motion, and the purpose of that is to get this hat out of the box. So you see, okay, why are we doing this motion over and over and over, right? Well, if we don't do this motion, this guy's unblocked and is able to come fold in and make tackles. By doing this motion, you can see the moment that Sawyer goes in motion, he backs out, right? And we're able to get him out of the box, which gives us essentially an extra hat blocking. Offensive line did an outstanding job. And like you said, man, Cason's done such a great job of just finding space. And that cut right there, as he gets through this slow motion cut right there.
Had two guys biting down hard.
Yeah, he just does such a great job of that. Big time touchdown. That's the first play of the fourth quarter. So that's why I told our defense, you know, it's always cool when the things you say comes true. I told our defense, we're going to score right here. Y'all get a stop, and we're going to go win the game. This play right here, I did get the fourth down stop, which is silly because I talked about how it being a critical moment. But I knew we'd be here, and we spent a lot of time on film. This is one of the best. Now, you've seen us run load for a long time, Andy. This may be one of the best blocked load plays that we've ever had. As you watch, we're running counter, so we're going to go back, down, base, pull, and kick. We're going to gap hinge. We actually have two guys that are going to now pull into the hole. That drawing right there, you draw it that way on the board, and you hope it looks that way. But, man, this is as clean as it gets.
For a hat right there.
It literally is exactly how you draw it on the board. And when Roman has that run lane right there, he's going to score 100% of the time. So really cool play. But then all that did was put us within a 2-point conversion. So Coach Pope had a great idea coming out on the 2-point conversion. What you saw in the first one is we shifted over and their whole team shifted over, right? So we said, hey, we're going to shift and then we're going to call the play. So we shift over and this time they don't move at all. So we say, okay, let's run to where we shift to now, right? So this one's not as clean, but we still are down. We're still base. Now we're going to kick and we're going to get two guys on this backer. And really those two guys catching this linebacker blitz is a huge play. And then Roman physically makes the rest of it happen. So really cool. Boom, right there. Able to get enough on him where he doesn't have enough power. Roman runs through it, and that ties the ball game up. And then ultimately, the play of the game. Again, we don't lead the whole game. You got a sophomore kicker that steps up and makes such a big kick in such a big moment.
Hard not to smile looking at that.
It's really cool. A really cool moment for the kid. Really cool moment for our program. For us to come back and win the way we were able to come back and win. Really proud of our guys. They have no quit. We talked about it after Bradley. Our guys have no quit. So for them to not worry about what the scoreboard says and just play the game, for it to end like this and our guys get to celebrate together, and our community get to celebrate together, our band, our cheerleaders, you see our sideline, it's a really special moment. And like I said, one I won't forget for a long time, but ultimately it's because it sets us up to where, region championship is in our grasp. And we're really very close to that being a reality for us. That's goal number one, go win the region. So this just puts us a step closer to that. We got to go win this week at Lenoir City. And if we do that, it sets up to where possibly we could be region champs before the final game. But ultimately, if we go win the final game, we win the region championship. So Really cool moment. We don't have to rely on anybody but ourselves now to go win a region championship.
Great stuff. Coach Akins, appreciate you taking the time to go over film with us. Again, we say it every week. It's our favorite segment for a reason because we get to see cool stuff like the power play, seeing it broke down like that, an angle that you don't normally get to see. So thank you for doing that. Once again, this Friday, as Coach Akins mentioned, at Lenoir City, complete game coverage on Cleveland's Oldies 99.1. Jacob will be present for that this week. He'll be along with me on the call over on Cleveland's Oldies 99.1. Pre-game will start at 6:30 with kickoff at 7 o'clock. And Coach Akins, definitely we hope that all the Mustang supporters make the trek north to pack out Lenoir City and give that that Mustang advantage that we usually have here at home.
Absolutely. We travel so well. Our band travels. They're bringing a pet band, but a pet band for us is 100. It's actually more than most. So they make such a great impact. Our cheerleaders, our fans. It's been really fun and really excited about the end of the year and hopefully a playoff run.
Yeah. Once again, for Coach Drew Akins, I'm Andy Morris. Go Mustangs.